Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
This is the Fun Belt Podcast, part of the Believe Network.
Host to Dusty Thibodeaux of Warhawk Report, Jeremy Harper of Howell Razor, and Shane Metlin of the Daily News Record.
I think it's potentially a very good week for the Sun Belt.
But I'm just kind of going off on a random rant. It's just frustrating. It's
rolling along in New Orleans.
Yes.
Just like the streetcars, Jeremy.
Wow. That was a nice transition. Great segue.
I do what I can for that. It's the second half of the Sun Belt Conference Eastern Division, the only league in the NCAA with divisions.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people don't like the divisions. I like the divisions.
I like the divisions.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of those that are not in favor of the divisions, ironically, are in the same division.
That's true. Yeah, it's absolutely right on that. No, to me, divisions, if you got a big league, there's 14 teams in this league. It's good to split it up. Give two people more of a kind of a rooting chance. Imagine being in a 14-team league and just being stuck at the bottom of the rankings all the time. So I think this works out.
You're taking shots at me already. Thank you, Jeremy.
I was trying not to say ULM, but yes, ULM.
Yeah, that figures. And, we'll be here for the West coming up in future episodes. But for right now, it's the rest of the East.
We had a great conversation with some great guys, including fan favorite, Ricky Ronnie.
We talked to...
Come on, who did we talk to?
Ryan Beard, Coastal.
That's right. We talked to Ryan Beard, the very youthful Ryan Beard, who I get the feeling has to present ID a lot.
Third youngest coach in Sun Belt history.
Looks 10 years younger.
And then some. Clay Helton.
Yeah, not. Who did you call him? It was Todd Helton. You called him last.
Probably.
Time. Yeah. But that was Clay Helton, which we learned his son plays quarterback for the team.
He does, and gives one of his players some good fatherly advice.
That's right, because he's a dad himself, so he's able to pass along that wisdom.
And a new dad at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also got to talk to D'Lo.
That's right, yeah. He was in a real bad mood, wasn't he?
Always. And then we got to talk to some good old Ricky Ronnie and ODU.
Yeah, talk to Ricky. ODU, always a little bit under the radar in past years. Last year, breakout season, 10 wins, just a really solid team from top to bottom. Can they repeat?
I think so. I think that there's some questions at the quarterback side.
Of course.
Maybe a little bit on the offensive side.
Maybe.
I think we got a good feeling, though, that the defense could be a little bit better than advertised.
Yeah, you know what? I always kind of think of them as a defensive team. So, except I think they gave up like 60 points to the to JMU last year. So I could have that totally backwards.
On that note, let's get it started.
Yeah, let's do it now.
The Georgia Southern crew is here, minus head coach Clay Helton.
He's going to come. Yeah, it is Clay.
It is Clay. I will never live it down.
Last year he got it wrong. Yeah, so this year,
I emphasize Clay Helton.
Underline
instead,
it. Yep.
We have players with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Chance Gamble. Josh Dallas.
Guys, down there, wasn't a good year last year for y'all. Missing a lot of it due to injuries.
Yeah.
What's that kind of like, trying to come back for that additional year and really prove that you still got it, knowing that you really hadn't played in 2 years now of playing football?
Yeah, I think it allows you to develop on a different stage, per se. more as a leader rather than just, going out there and physically being able to play football. You learn how to develop these leadership skills that you may or may not have had before. And I think that was the biggest area of growth for me during this time of, injury and recovering, is learning how to be a better leader, a vocal leader, and being there for my teammates, not just when I'm on the field, but off the field as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you go through tough things in life, you either look back on that time and go, I'm proud of the man that I was, and I was sharpened through it and because of it, or you look back and you regret the type of man you were because of it, and you pouted, you looked down, you wasted the time. And I think what we did a great job of, and it's not pointing at ourselves, it's actually pointing at the leadership around us that challenged us. Also, both have great parents that had our back through it, and great accountability all the way around, was that they were challenging us day in and day out. Do not waste this time. You guys are captains on this team, leaders on this team. Don't just go through the motions. Look back on this time. Be proud of the person that you were because of it. And I think we can both be here confidently saying that we've grown both as leaders. We've grown as players, too, because you get a different perspective when you're in the film room and you're watching 11 other guys out there. Well, you see it from a different lens. You get to sit in on maybe more meetings than you would before, and you really get the opportunity to just make the most of it. And I think we've both been sharpened because of it. It's been exciting. So you can also sense the urgency that we had to be back out there, man, and play.
He's a little giddy.
And play for our fans, man, play for our team, get to put on the blue and white again, man. I cannot wait because it's been way too long.
So did either one of you, when you received the injury and during the rehabilitation, just consider just taking a little time in beautiful Eagle Creek?
Eagle Creek.
And get that restored?
Well, actually, I think every Saturday, me and you went down there and just chilled in the water, soaked it in.
A lot of good healing things.
Yeah.
I don't think healing's ever been used out of that.
Absorb the vitamins.
Yeah, you get superpowers. You sitting there too long.
Oh, that's the truth. Guys, knowing that it's been a while there of Coach Helton being at the helm, how have you seen this program as a whole kind of progress, knowing that it hasn't maybe lived up to the hype of what the traditions of Georgia Southern are? How do you kind of right the ship and do your part to get back on the field and to get way up in those East Division standings?
Yeah, I think it's a huge honor being leaders on this team, captains on this team, driving forces, not only for our teammates, but, man, we get great leaders in Coach Helton, in our president, in our AD, everybody around us that has a standard that we obviously have not met. And I'm not going to bounce around that. We have not met the standard that we're shooting after, and we're shooting after a Sun Belt championship every single year. There is no deviating from that. I think we've done a great job from Coach Helton's perspective of instilling what our culture is. It's toughness, it's discipline, and it's united. I think the guys that we've developed the last couple of years coming out from high school are going to have some incredible opportunities to show what they've been working for years and years and years. But also when you look at all the pieces that we've added in, the difference this year, man, we have the most mature football team I've ever been a part of. It's incredible. So you're rising up those younger guys, but you bring in all these leaders, these vets that have played 20, 30 games in college football. It's really cool getting to see all these pieces mesh. But again, going back on Coach Helton, toughness, discipline, united is everything that we preach, and we are genuinely living that. I'm excited to get to do that with all the guys this year.
Yeah, I think Josh said it pretty spot on. But, Rome wasn't built overnight. It takes time to, come in and do what you want to do. But he said it better than I can because he's been there longer. But, I've been somewhere and seen a different program, a different environment, and it's just not the same. The amount of care that these guys have for us outside of football, and just being men, not just a football player, but men of the society, they take care of us. They want us to be the best versions of ourselves, and I think that's super important as well. As long as, Georgia Southern Statesboro, we love to win football games over there.
Yeah, that's true. That seems to be the
just as important, though, and I think that we're doing a good job with that, developing not only good football players but young men as well.
You guys want some real, authentic behind-the-scenes
content?
content?
Let's hear it.
We love behind the scenes.
Give us some breaking
I'm not
news.
going to go too deep here.
Okay.
But as a team last week, we had a great workout all together. Coaches went on the side, and the players had a little while to talk as a full team. We talked about the importance of what this university deserves, what Statesboro deserves, what all of our teammates deserve because of the hard work that we put in. But that's not just going to get handed to us and given to us. We've got to go earn the right every single day. And y'all know how the Sun Belt Conference is. If you don't bring it week in and week out, well, you're going to look up and you're going to be down a few games. So you have to bring it 1 week at a time. But we were real with each other. Guys, the last 4 years, it's not been it. We've had some really, really good moments. We've had some hard moments too. But through that adversity, man, I think that we are growing, and we've been real with each other that this university and Statesboro as a whole deserves this altogether. So we're excited to see what it looks like.
You know, part of that adversity was sort of a scheduling problem last year. Not a scheduling problem, a scheduling challenge. Being in California for so long, being away from Statesboro for so long. I know you ended up getting hurt at USC,
I got hurt
right?
at USC.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure where you ended up.
I played both.
Did you play through the California trip too? Okay. So what was that trip like? I mean, I've never seen anything like it where a team ends up staying a week to play another team later on. How was that trip like?
I will say first off, and then you can say, I'm going to say this quick. It was hard when you look back on it. But I want to give a big shout out to behind the scenes, Matt Hassan, our AD president, for making that happen. Incredible years in advance, hearing everything that went into it. I don't know if people know this. We stayed at the Dallas Cowboys training facility.
Oh, that's really
out
cool.
there. So it was really, really cool for our group. Even though it was hard, I really do think that you're even going to see some aspects of this year being affected from those 2 weeks that were out there. A lot of the team, and yes, you have movement, you have change, but there was a lot of bonding that actually happened through there. And even going through a hard time, it's awesome when you experience everything dandy and great and perfect. But when you grow through adversity, man, I think you're going to see some impacts even from last year, that trip getting to have together, even influence this year. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the trip was definitely challenging. But like Josh said, I thought it brought us together. You know, sitting there at 4 wins late in the season, we had to go find a way to get 2 more wins to be bowl eligible. And I think that trip seriously helped us out. It brought us together as one, and, you know, we banded together at the right time to go get the bowl.
Coach, I just want you to know that your two guys here are gunning for your job. Because
they're a hard act to follow, aren't they?
They really are. You might want to take off. We were just talking a little bit about that crazy road trip that you took to California, where you had to stay the week in between to play 2 California teams. Josh and Chance were both saying, yeah, it brought us together, it got us closer. It was being put in the fire and being straight and hearted. But would you do something like that again?
Well, I know this. It paid dividends late in the season. I thought it produced toughness. I thought it produced confidence to face adversity and then overcome. Because after those 2 California trips, you remember what we did right after that. We came home. We win the next 2 to get even and put ourselves back into a position where we could be in postseason play. And then I thought it helped us at the end of the year, winning 4 out of the last 5, going on the road to App State, on the road to Marshall. Boone, North Carolina, and Huntington, West Virginia are not easy places to play. And to come away with those 2 wins, part of that was having to face that adversity early. So it did pay dividends. Is it something that I hope happens every 10 years? Maybe. But it was a unique experience, and it's one that I know these guys will never forget, because how many times do you get to – it was our first time ever as a university going out to California to be able to practice at Dallas Cowboys facilities, to play in the Coliseum, to play at a great venue like Fresno State and see their fan base, which is similar to ours. It was a great trip. It was a tough trip, but it helped us in the long run.
Yeah, you guys were there so long you're paying California state taxes, right?
Coach Clay Helton, able to get it right this year, just for you.
Goodness.
I studied and studied and studied. There was no repeat.
He was so
from
nervous.
last year.
Oh, you're good.
Quarterback, you have one of the guys that's been around the game since they were wearing leather helmets there, and Max Johnson, a 7th-year guy. What does he bring to this team?
Yeah, we were looking for a specific guy. We had lost J.C. French, who had graduated from Georgia Southern, got his degree, all-time leading passer, had accomplished so much, and got a unique opportunity that, he felt like he couldn't pass up. But we didn't want to change the dynamic of the room. We needed an experienced guy that had produced at a high level, and there was no guessing game, because we had 2 older guys with J.C. and Turner Helton that we wanted to be able to keep that dynamic, to continue that leadership, continue continue the competitiveness. And Max fit that build. It allowed us to keep the dynamic where some young quarterbacks like Weston Bryan and Charlie Johnson, Harrison Faulkner can continue to grow when it's their time. And so Max has come in. Obviously, anytime you get somebody that's played almost 2,000 snaps of college football and has done it at LSU, at Texas A&M, North Carolina, has overcome his own adversity with a severe injury and is 100% back and just excited about being in the right system with the right team. I'm excited for him. He had a great spring. I sat our quarterbacks down after that spring and said, hey, guys, you know what? Max had the best spring. If we were to play right now, he would be the starting quarterback. Now it's Max's job to continue that through the summer and the fall training camp, and it's the rest of you to be able to try to surpass him within it. But he's had a great spring, great summer. I can't wait to see fall training camp. But you see his poise. I mean, you see his confidence level, and the arm talent is absolutely evident.
You've been with this team for 5 years. Mm-hmm. I've always wondered, just from a coaching perspective, Josh and Chance, both seniors, 6-year guy, right? What's the difference between a freshman or a sophomore coming into a program and a guy who's got all that experience and seen everything and done everything? What is that difference? Is it like a mild difference? Is it a little bit of difference?
I always try. They've heard me say it 1,000 times, but my dad, who's been a college and NFL coach for a long time, has taught me there's trained and untrained. And when you have guys for multiple years that understand your culture, understand what you're about, whether they understand the standards and the expectations, and been trained how to be a pro, there's a big difference between a 23, 24-year-old man and an 18-year-old young man. And so there is development, and that's why you see us each and every year. We average anywhere from 20 to 25 high school signees. We're a high school development team that grows them from youth, and that's helped us build guys like the two guys you see here that are in my opinion, two future NFL football players.
Coach, you missed one quarterback there on your roster that I know is near and dear to your heart there, of Turner, your son, last time through. What's it like having him still around this program and seeing him kind of grow and develop?
Yeah, you want to be able to have a strong quarterback room that has your mindset. I've always believed the quarterbacks have to be the face of the program, and you have to know that you have to enter every meeting, every practice like you're the starter. And what I appreciate about Turner in his mind, every time he walks out there, he brings a starter mentality. He brings a competitiveness that is rare. He's got his grandpa's competitiveness in him and his uncle's competitiveness. And he doesn't like the game. He doesn't love the game. He lives it. And I think that's why he's a really good college football player. I think it's going to make him an exceptional coach. He'll probably be the best of the Helton coaches at some point in time in his life. But I'm a proud daddy. It's been a really fun year being able to coach him. I got to play for my dad my last year of college, and my dad said, when it started, you'll really enjoy this experience, and I have. It's been really neat.
So you're saying he's the heir apparent? I'm just throwing it out there.
He, as a coach,
yes,
he's going to be better than all of us.
Everybody's gunning for your job, man. You got these guys.
He tells me what I do right and wrong every day, so he's already started.
So I got a question for your guys here, Josh and Chance. You bring in the defensive back, you bring in the wide receiver, two guys that are two notoriously talkative guys on the field. Who talks the most shit, the defensive backs or the wide receivers?
You're talking about as a whole or between us two?
As a whole. And
the DBs, it's not even close.
Is this true?
This is very true.
All right. Between you two,
you got to have that swagger out there while you're playing.
Absolutely. You got to forget that you got burned. You just got to keep going. So between you two, is there any?
I talk with my blocking.
Oh. Okay. Well,
we talk a little mess to each other. I'm not gonna tell y'all
another dimension.
I'm not gonna tell y'all what we call it when we line up on each other. Yeah. But we have a saying that we say when we line up on each other. You could probably put two and two together and guess what it is, but I'm just not going to.
It's a good battle.
Yeah, it's good battle, for sure.
I'll tell you what's the funniest is Turner, the quarterback, and him and Chance are roommates. And
God.
I think they talk trash to each other every play. Every play.
I would think that as roommates they would be helping each other study.
Yeah, me and Turner, we go at it all the time. We're like
Iron sharpens iron.
We're like brothers without blood relation, for sure.
I'll tell you really quick, Turner has a special place in my heart because I came to Georgia Southern with my twin brother, David Dallas.
Oh, cool.
He was a quarterback. He was my quarterback for my whole life, 5 years old to 18. And anyways, he's now coaching. But Turner is almost an exact copy as far as a player of David. So he's filled that gap in my life. Got a special place for Turner in my
Now
life.
you're like triplets.
We're like triplets. How about that? Let's go.
Why do I see Coach Helton over there, his teeth just gnashing down like, golly.
Good competitive edge.
I have another one of those. Josh, you have the uniqueness. I mean, it's hard enough being a student athlete, but 2 years into marriage and now having a son of your own, what's it like to try to juggle all three of those tough jobs?
Well, I'll tell you what. To be married, to be a father, to be a Division I athlete, you can't do that on your own. You've got to be around an unbelievable community. You've got to have an unbelievable family. You've got to have an unbelievable wife, an incredible home that you've come from, an incredible program. I could go on and on and on. A huge piece of the reason that guys like us continue to stay year after year after year is because of how special this program is. And I don't want to go too deep here, but when I came to my OC, when I came to Coach Helton, when I came to my head strength coach, and I told these men that, man, I'm going to be a father or I'm going to be a husband, all of these things, these dudes hugged me, picked me off the ground. They gave me father-like advice. They've been my friend through all of this. I'm telling you, Georgia Southern is so much more than a place you go and play football. A lot of athletes need to hear this. You think you're making a decision for the next couple years, or the next couple seasons, or the next semester. You're making decisions when you come to a place like Georgia Southern for the next 30, 40 years, and guys need to know that.
Clay, did you give Josh any good fatherly advice? And I'm talking practical advice, not like some high-ended stuff. I mean, like buy enough diapers, learn how to, is there something that you gave him some advice on?
Well, yeah, I told both these guys, when you become one a husband and one a father, and my dad gave me the same advice, there's only three things you have in life. You have your faith, you have your family, and you have the game of football. Those are the three. There's not hobbies after that. It's not hanging with the guys after that. It's the availability to put those three as your priorities, and everything else is secondary. And it's in that order. It's your faith, it's your family, and then the game. And this best advice I was ever given, it was been my three priorities through 32 years of marriage and football, both the same. And both these guys, he's a soon-to-be husband, I know.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations.
It's someday, and this one already is. But they're both men that are going to get that done. There's no question.
Georgia Southern, the place of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, Jeremy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing the Eagles this season.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Dusty. Appreciate you. Hail Southern.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
The Chanticleers, the Teal Field, they got a new leader. They have their student athletes here with us, which are
Robbie Washington from Miami, Florida. Ibrahim Diawara, defensive end from Southwest Philadelphia.
And then, of course, our second ever All Sun Belt Conference former player that joins the coaching ranks, Coach Ryan Beard. Tell me about becoming the fifth coach on the Teal Field.
Yeah, what a wild ride it's been. Becoming a head coach at 33 was crazy enough in itself, but to be able to have such quick success and have such foundation of kind of learning who you are, what you want your programs to look like, culturally, on the field, all those different types of things. It's been a lot of fun. I learn every single day. We were just talking out there in the lobby about take something from each conversation you have and learn from it. we're all going through this life together, and some people, deserve some grace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to get a little firm with people, but it's been a good ride. I'm excited about what we're doing at Coastal Carolina.
You come over from Missouri State. We always got to take the jab. If you couldn't beat the Sun Belt, so you had to join them. But what was the big thing that you learned at your time there with Missouri State of really getting them to go from being a pretty good FCS program, transition to FBS, and having that immediate success?
Yeah, there's a phrase I use all the time. It's everything matters. The way you act, the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, the way you keep yourself looking, it all matters. Being early to meetings, being early and trusting your processes before practice. Are you a guy that needs to get a little looser, that comes in early and gets the prep work that he needs? Because everything we do needs to make sure that the student athlete is at their peak when it's time to perform. And it's all player-centric, and that's the one thing that I'm super proud of about our programs is that everything we do is with the player in mind. Hell with if it's convenient to the coach or the staff or the whatever, suits want to do. It's about the players, and it's about getting them to do what needs to be done to be the best they can be.
Is part of that, you think, your youthfulness? I mean, these guys are really, I won't say your peers, because I know you're a little bit older than them that way, but kind of being not far removed from being in their shoes.
I think it's a huge help because I'm not super far off from being in their shoes. I understand what the grind looks like. I understand things that helped me as an athlete and things that detracted from my game. And my job is to give them tools to be successful, tell them the triumphs that I had and how I got to achieve those, as well as we need to talk about real-life losses. We need to talk about things that you did wrong so that they can learn from your mistakes and grow as men. And I think that's one reason that, just talking to these two guys right here, I mean, they were brilliant up on the big stage. I'm so proud of them because it means we're reaching them. They're speaking how we speak as a staff. They're saying the things that we say, and they truly believe it.
Ibram, you go through the coaching change. Ryan comes in after Tim Beck. What changes have you seen in his short time that he's been here?
Yeah, we've upgraded to we have a different staff, so it's definitely different personalities. They're just very distinct from each other. But Coach Bear brings in that youthfulness, that player experience that we always talk about. He's also brought in a fast-paced practice that's getting everybody to be urgent. Like as Chanticleers, we're urgent to everything. Everybody's urgent to meetings. We're urgent to practices, to pre-practice, to lift. Everything we do with a purpose. And not saying that there was anything that wasn't, but to say Coach Beard has brought in a different insight into life and how to, as he says, be a dude.
Hey, Robbie, we were talking about the coach's youthfulness. Is he ever going to put on the pads and challenge you to a race?
he was a guy. Yeah.
I was say, he was all conference. And he was all conference. He always says he could get out there, he could do some things. I'm pretty sure he probably won't be able to stop me, but he'll be able to stop a couple guys. But I don't know about me.
I mean, you talk about a fast-paced practice. Has he kind of put on the shoes and ran with y'all? And if so, does he still have the 40?
Probably still got the 40 because he's out there with us every day. He brings the juice to practice, and I can't let him out-juice me, so I'm not going to cap. I'll beat him in the race still, though.
As a receiver, I know last year you got 29 receptions, just under 300 yards,
yep.
10 games, multi-game receptions. But you got to break in a new quarterback this year. A guy that I really like that wound up going there out of Tyler JUCO, Trey Guerrera. What have you seen out of him, and do you feel that maybe that's a guy that you've had a good connection with, or is there a different face that we should be looking out for?
You should look out for all four faces. All those guys have really good traits and really good abilities in their own way. But Trey is a really good guy. He made sure that I know what I have and that the offense is really on top of a lot of stuff. But as far as all the quarterbacks do that for real, and I really like all those guys. So I look forward to going to play with any one of those guys on Saturday.
I have a question for Coach. You come from Missouri State, and I find that a lot of coaches, when they come to a new place, they end up bringing a couple guys with them that can, in a way, almost show the guys how you expect things to go because they're the ones that have been with you the longest. Who are some guys that you brought from Missouri State that kind of helped with that culture?
Yeah, Ahmad Poole, defensive lineman, Tristan Gardner, Braxton Starnes, Donnie. I mean, I can go down a list. We brought about 15 guys with us, and those are really the foundational pieces of what you want to be culturally. They know me better than anybody, just like you said, and that's the truth. They know, the do's and don'ts per se, and the things that can, have you having a serious conversation with the head coach. And I think it's just good to have those guys in the locker room because we were able to assert ourselves in Conference USA at a very fast pace, and it's because of how we operate on a day-to-day basis. I have no doubt about that. And yes, we made some great plays down the stretch to put us in a position to end up really high in the league, get into our first bowl game ever, which was I'm extremely proud of, and I think those things will help carry over at Coastal Carolina.
Aaron, he mentioned Conference USA. You kind of got the taste of the new conference member there of Louisiana Tech coming in. Kind of a home game for them right there in Shreveport, but you were still able to perform, got a good fumble recovery in a wild, crazy bowl game. What did you see out of that, and what did that bowl game kind of teach you that you can bring into this season?
Yeah, it was definitely a different experience being in Shreveport, playing into that game, but I kind of learned from every game. We try not to live in the past and live into things that may not have gone our way, how we wanted them to. So I definitely learned about myself and my character in that game. But I will say that as we grow, we try not to look too deep into the past and live in the moment that we are in right now.
So I know Coach is going to hold it close to the vest of who his quarterback is.
Yeah, come on, we want to know.
Out of the four.
I respect that.
So out of those four, which quarterback have you hit the most so that we can kind of narrow it down a little bit?
We don't hit the quarterback. We run past the quarterback during practice. All four of those guys are amazing. They bring different skill sets every day. They're not the same exact quarterback. So all four of those guys are amazing. They all can spin it. They all can do whatever we need from them. They're all great leaders. So whatever we need from whoever's going to be that starting guy.
But on that note, I mean, what's kind of the identity of this team? Is this knowing that you get to see kind of face-to-face or face-off all the time against the offense? Is that offense maybe a little bit better than the defense? And then I'll ask you the same of the defense. What's kind of the identity?
You're getting in trouble again, man.
I'm going 0-14 this
He's going to end up face down in the river at the end of the night. So
yeah. We can say the identity of our team is being very multiple and very versatile. We got versatile athletes all over the field in different positions. We got a lot of guys who can play a lot of different spots. We'll show a lot of different formations. We'll show a lot of different fronts. You won't see the exact same thing from us. There's not a specific bread and butter because we can do so much with so many talented guys on both sides of the field.
Exactly what Eve said. I could put it no better than that. And as far as who's better, offense or defense, we come out and we compete every day. We don't care about who's better, who won the day. Like, we try to win the day. Offense is going to try to win the day. Defense obviously going to try to win the day. But we care the most about competing and being out there with our brothers for real. We're not looking for who is. Oh, the defense wasn't as good today or the offense wasn't as good. We just want to come out, scrap it up, and compete.
The new NCAA game is out. I know that they have that for y'all in the green room. Have y'all squared off head-to-head, and who won?
Not yet.
Me and Eve? Nah, we didn't play yet.
All right, what's the prediction then for when y'all play?
Me?
No. No, me, 28-7.
Nah.
Oh, you'll win it.
Yeah.
So what I hear, though, is that even though y'all said that there's no identity, the offense is better than the defense.
Yeah. Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, we're going to beat Shants versus Shants. Yeah. Shants versus Shants, Shants win. No matter what. Shants win.
As long as the Shants win, it don't matter who wins.
There it is. Coach, what do you feel is maybe the biggest expectation that you have for this year, knowing that, the Shants have been one of the better teams in the East lately, maybe not quite atop the standings the past year or two, but overall, they've really been good, starting back with Jimmy Chadwell through the Tim Beck era and on.
Yeah, my expectation is for wherever you're at on any given Saturday or Thursday or Friday, whatever day we play, I want you to turn on the film and go, man, that's a fun team to watch. Offensively, they're spreading the ball around. They're moving the ball down the field, getting in the end zone. Defensively, we play with relentless pursuit. You're willing and courageous enough to put your pads on people. And then I want to be dynamic in the special teams game. Again, being a special teams coordinator, that's still near and dear to my heart. And I think that's an X factor of the game that all of us, we don't really talk about it very often, but it's a huge, impactful part of the game. And I want to do things the right way. I know, sometimes that's such a simple answer, but it's hard to do. Be assignment sound. Take care of the football. That will give you a chance to win games in the fourth quarter.
Robbie, you ever pick up a punt? You ever do punt returns, kick returns?
No, I have been doing punt. I have did punt return a little bit, but I'm looking to do it a lot this year.
Now, Coach, are you one of those coaches that says everybody's on special teams, so everybody has to play a role?
Everybody's doing special teams. I'll be doing a little bit of gun
sir.
You ever catch a punt?
I haven't caught a punt in practice, but
Okay. Coach he backtracked on you there. He said the best athletes. I'm just saying.
But he would also put me in the best position to be successful.
Nice. Wow. He completely judo flipped you. Yeah.
That's a good spin. I like that. That's a good spin there. Expectations for this season. I mean, I know everyone says, "Oh, we're gonna win it," but what's it take to really do that? Because it's one thing to say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go 9-0 in conference play," but what does it take to really get to that point?
I feel like it takes a whole bunch of guys rallying behind the leader of men, which is Coach Beard. I think Coach Beard is a really good leader, and we have everybody on the same page. I think that's what it takes to win. I think it takes a whole team wanting one goal.
And I just think it takes everybody continuing to buy in. As long as we have everybody who's like, we're a player-led team. Like he'll keep saying, we're player-led. We do everything. Like the coaches aren't the ones that's always holding us accountable. If we can hold each other accountable, and you want to play for the guy next to you more than you want to play against the guy that's against you, we're going to be very successful. We'll be able to play fast. We'll be able to play strong. I'll know that the linebackers have my back. The safeties have their backs. Like, as long as we're a player-led team and everybody wants to continue to build this brotherhood and be held to the same standard, we're going to win a lot of football games.
And we got to have the best athletes on special teams.
You know it. I play special teams now.
Oh, okay. Well, thank y'all very much. Look forward to seeing y'all out on the teal field and seeing the Shants in 26.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Summer is here, which means we all want to look and feel our best. A GLP-1 may be right for you. Visit OrderlyMeds.com to learn more about which GLP-1 you could be eligible for. Getting started is fast, easy, and happens virtually through telemedicine from licensed professionals. Check it out for yourself. Go to OrderlyMeds.com/podcast. That's OrderlyMeds.com/podcast. Taking care of yourself feels great. Compounded medications are not FDA approved. Eligibility required and determined by a licensed provider. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
The guys from Boone, Jeremy.
Yeah, Boone.
Looking forward to making
hard to get to Boone.
It is very hard to get to Boone.
You have to parachute into it. You can't drive there.
That might be easier.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going to Boone
You
this
love
year.
Boone, yeah.
But we are joined by head coach Dow Logan as well as
Colton Ferris,
Malachi Singleton.
Mountaineers. Man, it was a rough year last year, but what were some things maybe that y'all learned on the season to get ready for a successful 26 year?
Yeah, I think there were highs and lows like every season. Obviously, the record wasn't what we wanted it to be. Learned a lot of what, going into year two, what we need from a roster construction standpoint. You're going to have 70 new players, and knew we needed to get faster as a team, knew we needed more leadership, knew we need to improve the quarterback position. So feel really good about where we're at right now.
So, Coach, one thing that stood out to me for the last the 2 years you've been there is that the recruiting has been really exceptional at Appalachian State. What's making you such a good recruiter? What's your secret sauce?
I don't know if there's a secret sauce outside of being as transparent and real as you can be. I hope that every player that comes here says they are who they say they are in the recruiting process, and there's not authentic way about our staff. We have a lot to sell because, like you guys said, Boone is an incredible place. And it is hard to get to, but once you get there, you don't want to leave.
That's right.
And we got the best game day atmosphere in our conference, and our fan base is awesome. So I think it starts with having a product that's easy to sell. And then when you start to sell why to come to Boone and the people that we have, and then we were able to put the number one recruiting class in the history of the conference together based on whatever the ratings say. We are a lot more talented than we were last year. We feel really good about our roster, but more importantly, we feel really good about the character of the people that we brought in.
Speaking of character and the people you brought in, Malachi comes in. This is going to be a question for both of you guys. Dual threat guy. Had some time in Purdue, had some time in Arkansas. Is that where you two met, in Arkansas? And how did Coach convince you to come to Appalachian State?
Well, I'm going to start this.
Okay.
So
you tell him the story.
Yeah. I need to set the background first. The first guy we ever had on a visit, me being the head coach, was him. Purdue has really good resources, we found out. Sure. So that's where it started. We had a vision when we went to App the first time. We recruited him out of high school when we were at Arkansas. And so we had a vision for him. We knew the character of the player. We knew what he could bring to our locker room, not just as a dual-threat quarterback, but a guy that could beat you with his mind, his arm, and his feet, but also change the temperature of the locker room. We needed a leader. We had him picked out early, and we knew that we were right. Another school came along and offered him something he couldn't turn down at the time. But it's funny how things work out in college football, and so I'll let him talk more about that. The opportunity to come play in the vision we had for him was very clear, and I can promise you this: we were relentless in our process to get him, because he could have gone to a lot of different places, had a lot of good options because of the talented player he is and the leader he is. Like, all of a sudden, these are two of our three captains that are sitting here with me, and it was unanimous. So to be able to get here in January, and Colton had already created reputation as being our leading tackler, a leading interceptor, and a veteran that had been here for 4 years. Mally changed the temperature of the locker room, and it was obvious who the leader of the offense was at that point once he got there.
Yeah, let's hear the facts now. I want unvarnished truth.
Well, just this journey has been a long journey. I've had a lot of different coaches. I've had 4 different offensive coordinators, 3 different head coaches now. So it's just like, for me personally, just finding the best situation and the most genuine coach. A lot of things get said in the college world, and I think nobody has held their word more than Coach has, and just the trust I have for him, and it's all genuine. And he didn't promise me nothing. He didn't promise me nothing, but
that doesn't sound like a very good recruiting.
Yeah, come on, man.
But I'm saying, he just said, if you come in here and do,
I promise
exactly
you nothing.
If you come in here and do what I know you think, what I know you can do, then the keys are there, and that's what he did, and I'm thankful for him and thankful for the opportunity to be on this team. And now that I'm on the team and got to be around the guys, get to be around Colton, and it's just like this energy is contagious. And I haven't really been in a leader role until this year, and really getting to watch him in the beginning, like the first month, really helped me a lot, because he holds everybody accountable, even me. We had a meeting maybe like the first or second week I was there, stood up in front of the whole team and told me, I got to get it right. So that's exactly what I did.
All right.
And so that just tells you his character and his leadership. But, yeah, it's been really good. I'm thankful for this opportunity, just ready to perform.
Colton, we heard a little bit about your leadership. 101 tackles last year. That's a lot of collisions. You got this new quarterback here. He looks bigger than most linebackers. Have you had an opportunity to tackle this guy yet? Or are you even allowed to tackle him?
No, and he will not.
But how?
I can help with this question.
But Being on that defensive side, what do you see on the offense that you're liking with your new quarterback in charge? Or did you play spring ball this year? Okay.
Yes, he did. He's really impressive. He definitely brings the aspect of having to play against a dual threat quarterback. It's very frustrating as a defense because it's another thing you have to kind of worry about, extending plays with his legs and also just design runs for him. I mean, obviously, I can't tackle him, but you know when they're there.
You can't slip in a tackle every now and then?
I don't think so.
Maybe when coach is having lunch or something, just get him
in his house or something. I don't know. But he's an incredible player, and he brings a lot of versatility to the offense that we didn't really have last year.
Obviously, we know about the good quarterback play there that you have. What did you see out of spring ball of who else and what other areas on that offense are kind of the keys to the Mountaineers being successful?
Well, the good thing is, I mean, we pretty much improved everywhere. Like Coach Logan said, we got a lot faster. That was noticeable from day one with the receivers. You got to get to your drops now or they're already past you. So that's the thing I really first immediately noticed. And then also our running back room, tons of depth in the running back room. Got a lot of great guys in there. And our O-line, we got 2 great tackles, and there's competition going on in the interior O-line right now, good competition. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. But we just improved it pretty much every position, if not every position. And it's really looking forward to it.
And do you feel that way about the defense too?
Absolutely.
And what area in the defense do you feel received the most upgrade?
Probably the back end, the DBs, safeties, and corners. I don't know which one between the two is the most, but they got a lot faster, a lot better, a lot smarter, really deep at both of those positions. So I'm excited to see how those battles turn out throughout camp.
So, Coach, this was, I believe, your first time as a head coach, right?
Yes, sir.
So you came from Arkansas and places in the NFL. What did you learn most from season 1 that you're taking to season 2? Are there some things that you look back and said, I wish I had done it differently, I'm going to do it differently in year 2?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like night and day going from year 1 to year 2. And I think it's familiarity of what your routine looks like. You got to figure out what makes you tick. And I was at Arkansas, I was the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. So offensively, you know what it's supposed to look like and all those things, but you learn how to delegate your time. I'm a control freak in some ways, where I'm the lead recruiter on every kid we have. And I'm also, as these guys will tell you, like, I'm going to be involved in the defense and special teams. I want to have a relationship. I don't want to be the play caller. I want to be the head coach. I want to have relationships with offense, defense, and special teams. That's how you build a team. And I've learned through what my ticks are, what I need to improve on, and what I think it should look like. And, going into year 1, I got hired 36 hours before the transfer portal started. And we're 9-3. We just beat Clemson when I was at South Carolina. We're getting ready to go play a bowl game. And I meet the team for the first time. There's like 45 of them. And there's a couple on Zoom. I'm like, hey, where's the team? They're like, Coach, they're on the transfer portal. This is it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, my gosh. Colton Ferris was like a 185-pound safety at that point. Now he's a 226-pound all-conference linebacker. But so you don't know what you don't know. And it's a different conference. So you're coming into – I'd spent time in the NFL. I'd spent time in the Southeastern Conference. Now you're coming to the Sun Belt, and you've got to figure out what wins in each conference. It's a highly competitive conference. There's great coaches and great players in this conference. So just knowing the ins and outs of the conference, what it takes to win, finding your recruiting niche, finding out, look, every place has its positives and minuses. We had to find ours in Boone and what we were going to sell in recruiting and what it was going to take to win here. In the past, when the great App State teams have won with team speed. When you watch them play, whether it be beating Michigan or South Carolina or Texas A&M, you're like, that's a fast team. When I first got to App, we weren't fast. And we knew we had to improve that element. So I've learned so much about that, like how to delegate more, how to create expectations and standards in the building, and where you learn where you miss. Like, I don't think we were as connected as we needed to be as a team. And you could say, hey, well, it was because of players, all those things. I look at myself first. And I'm saying, hey, do we put our guys in positions to be successful? Did we do enough to create camaraderie amongst each other? And if we didn't, we need to fix it. So we knew we recruited well, and we knew we were right on the players we had. We knew we created depth. We knew we created competition. But now you don't want to be a group of talented individuals. You got to become a team. So we were very, very intentional about how to create a team, and I didn't do a good enough job there last year.
Coach, 5-7, 5-8, overall, but you got to go to a bowl game. You got to go to the Birmingham Bowl. When you kind of go there and you're not at the 500 level, is it still a success to you in your eyes?
I think there were successes that came out of it. I'm sitting there. You lose the game, last game of the season, and I look back and we lost 4 games by 15 points. 4 games by 15 points. There were some successful moments. You go to JMU and get beat the way we did, and you respond and go beat Marshall. You go to Boise and you get beat, and you respond with a goal line stand and beat Oregon State. So I think there was a lot of good. I knew the class we had recruited. It was the number 1 class in the history of our conference. I knew what was coming. I knew the vision for what we had. And then it was time to go to work with, all right, here comes the offseason. Where do I need to improve? Is the staff where we need it to be? Is the weight room where we need to be? Is the training room where we need to be? And then all of a sudden your AD calls and says, hey, you want to play in a bowl game? And I'm like, yeah, anytime, any place. We're putting the ball down. And the AD's, hey, the money, it's expensive to go to a bowl game. So I call the seniors. And I call Colton and Caden Sweat and some of the guys that left. I'm like, hey, what do y'all think? And it was like, we're playing. And then we'd already had exit meetings. So I had told some of the previous roster, like, hey, I'm going to go get a quarterback. I'm not telling you have to go, but I understand there's a guy that walks through the door and he's going to be talented, and he's competing to win a spot. Just like Malachi told y'all, we don't promise anyone anything other than opportunity to compete. I hope that when kids sit in front of us, they say, that's authentic and real, I believe what he says. Versus like, hey, if I promise you something, why wouldn't I promise someone else that? Here's what I know. You can't BS an 18 to 22-year-old. You can't do it. The locker room knows before the coaches know. They know who the best players are. They know which coach is full of it. They know who they can trust. They know who real ones are. And if any coach believes that's not true, you're crazy. So we work really hard at being people that are accountable, and we're held to a standard of telling the truth and looking at what's best for the players. So we have these exit meetings. We tell these kids, we tell them the truth. We have very transparent conversations. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, now you're playing your rival in Georgia Southern. It's like, oh, great. That's awesome. It was like the 1987 and the NFL strike. And we got this, we had some good play. But what you got is you got a preview of what was coming back, what you needed to go get, and where you were at as a program. So, you could say it was 5-8, the record we wanted. Heck no, it wasn't. But I wouldn't. Yes, I would change. I'd be undefeated if I could be. But I appreciate the process and the gift we were given of knowledge of who's in. We found a leader. Then we went and found a quarterback, and we improved our speed. So I don't know if I would say successful, unsuccessful. Very grateful for the process. Learned a lot. Learned where I need to be better and improve the football team.
That's why we love Coach D'Lo. Just telling you the truth of how it is.
Yeah, it gives it to you straight. Yeah.
Colton, you've been through this league several times now. Have you braced Malachi for some of the great venues that he'll get to play in, like going to Georgia State or the rival game against Georgia Southern or anything like that?
Mainly I just told him about playing at home, playing at the Rock, and how crazy it is. He hasn't been to a game yet, obviously, so I'm excited for the tons of new guys and him to be able to run out the first time out the tunnel and just hear the crowd and just get to play in front of our home crowd is really what I've talked to him most about.
So you've done Malachi a huge disservice because he needs to prepare himself for that teal field in Conway, right? Coastal Carolina. You're not ready for it. You think you're ready for it, but once you see it, it just totally blows your mind, right?
We got a lot of games before we worry about that one.
I was going to ask you a question because you brought up that Colton used to be a safety. How did this transition happen from safety to linebacker?
So I was a safety out of high school. I redshirted my freshman year as a safety. And then my sophomore year, I was a safety until it was like the 5th game, I think, of the season. We played Marshall, and they put me in like the 4th quarter. I had a couple tackles, and they just called me in on Monday. They're like, you're a linebacker now. We need some help in the linebacker room with tackling and stuff. So
that's how it happened? You're a linebacker now?
Pretty much. They were like, you don't have to do it, whatever. I was like, I just want to get on the field, so whatever y'all need me to do.
What's more exciting, being safety or being linebacker? Obviously, you're getting plenty of tackles at linebacker.
I like linebacker better. It's a lot faster paced, and no matter what, you're going to be in some type of action.
That's true. You're closer to the line, closer to the action. You're not like out on an island sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Malachi, if this quarterbacking thing doesn't work out for you, is there another position that D'Lo's told you?
No. And hey, that's that authenticity I was talking about. I don't want to speak for the last staff, but they probably saw Colton as a linebacker and just, you can play safety. Yeah. Oh yeah, hey, go in there at linebacker right here and see what that looks like. Hey, that's pretty good. Let's do it again.
I think it would be an interesting thing to transition the quarterback to linebacker. Right? Why don't you give that a no? All right.
I mean, can you kick, punt?
What's
the versatility like?
Oh, I know I could play anything, but I'm not going to.
Everybody's on the special teams. Maybe you can get on the special teams. Maybe kick a few. No, all right. That's why we're not the coach.
No, not at all. We leave it to Coach Logan and then go from there. Coach, thank y'all so much. Always love Boone, love the Mountaineers, and anxious to see y'all play, except for 1 week this year when the good old Warhawks come to town. The Kings of the Sun Belt, that would be the ODU Monarchs. Join us, Jeremy.
Literally the Kings.
Literally the Kings, and you know that we all love some Ricky Ronnie.
We do.
We always look forward to this interview every year.
Always the highlight of Sun Belt Media Days. So you've got a lot to live up to. All right.
The quick introductions. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where you're from.
How you doing? Devin Roche, running back, number 3 from the ODU Monarchs, Baltimore, Maryland.
Nice.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Mario Easterly, number 3, safety from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Coach, big year last year for your Monarchs team. You get to go to a bowl game. A lot of big things happening. How do you recap last year?
Yeah, I think it was a season where we played really, really well, except for 6 quarters. We had 6 quarters we'd like to get back, but that's football. You don't get those back. Right, and so but I think that it was one of those things where, we went 2 years in a row where we played 1-score games every single game, and then last year we didn't play any. And we got on top of people pretty quick, and we're able to stay on top of them. And I think our guys did a good job of doing 2 things, and that was 1, playing violent, and then 2, playing pretty ruthless. And when we got on top of people, we stepped on their throat pretty good, and that's something I think is a learning process. And so hopefully the guys who were there last year, that we're able to replicate that.
So Old Dominion, for several years, just seemed like a team that was on the cusp of greatness, but there were things, you talked about the 1-score losses and stuff, just couldn't get over that hump. And then that first game last season against Indiana, probably the best game Indiana saw all year, by the way, kind of showed everybody what kind of team ODU was. And then the 10-win season comes up. Is there pressure now this year that you didn't experience in years before?
I don't know. I think for us, there's always pressure, right? We're expecting to win every game. We expected to win that Indiana game. And so I think that for us, there's always been pressure. There's no more pressure this year than there was in any other years. Our goal is to go win the Sun Belt Championship, and it's a goal that we haven't accomplished yet. And so we're looking forward to doing that. We got a great opportunity. We got a great schedule. When you get some of those guys at home and that sort of thing, that's great. But we also know that everybody in the Sun Belt is tough out. There's no easy games. Every single one's going to be a battle, and so that's something I think makes it winning this conference such an accomplishment. Is there are no easy games. You're gonna have a battle each and every game.
Devin, you got to replace a quarterback there, and Colton Joseph going off to Wisconsin. A little pressure on you to step up the run game and make sure that part is maybe able to fill that gap a little bit.
Yes, sir. It's definitely a little bit of pressure, but I like to look at the pressure as like a privilege, and attack it head on. So I've been in the film room with all the cues and, locking in the film with the O-line to make sure we're seeing everything on the same page. And I think it's coming together well.
What else is the big key for this offense, knowing that, you do have to break in a lot of new faces on that side of the ball? What else is kind of the keys?
Really just with it being a lot of new faces and a lot of talent, having it all work together and come together as one. Because I do feel like we have a lot of talented guys on the outside and the backfield on the line. But it doesn't mean nothing if we can't all play together as one and get the dub. So once we get that going and continue to get that going, it's going to be amazing.
We talked a little bit about Jason Henderson, who is a tackle machine. You, at safety, 80 tackles last year. That makes you a pretty busy guy. Does Henderson give you any, motivation to beat his records?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to beat his records, but I'm not really thinking about that in the game. I'm just going out there doing my job, making the plays that come to me. So, I run around, chase the ball, and the tackles just come. So that's really all it is.
Did you get pick 6 yet?
I haven't.
Is that the one thing that's off your resume that you want?
Yeah, if I get a pick 6, Coach Ronnie's going to know about it.
Anything else? Maybe throw a touchdown?
If he puts me on that side of the ball, I'll throw a touchdown or catch one.
We'll talk to Coach after, just privately. We'll see if we can make that happen for you.
The defense for ODU, I feel like they're always kind of sneaky good. Like, you think of ODU, you think that they're going to come in and really beat you on the offensive side of the ball. But the defense really able to come out and make some key stops. So what does this defense need to do to be able to say, all right, ODU is a good defensive school?
Yeah, I mean, we play relentless. Every game we're playing relentless. We're going out there trying to knock people's heads off, and that's just kind of how Coach Seiler has instilled in us. We're just going out there and playing violent, playing fast, attacking the ball. It's in practice, no loafs. You can't walk on the field. You can't jog on the field. If you're in the game, you're running. You're sprinting to the ball. You're trying to make a play. So, everyone's. Since I've been here, we've been a dominant defense, every year. So, I think people are kind of starting to notice that, our defense is really good, especially after Indiana having those goal line stops a couple times in a row. It just shows that we got dogs on that side of the ball and we like to play hard.
Devin, how do you know when your coach is pissed off?
Coach Ronnie got a good look on his face where it's not much
is
words
it now?
being said. It's not much words being said at all, though. It's more of a look.
Yeah, so when you see the look, then it's like,
Hands
okay, I better
hips.
shape up.
Yeah, it's time to lock in and get it together.
Has he ever, even under his breath, if maybe you were standing next to him, not that you were involved, said something that he maybe shouldn't have?
Nah, at times. I mean, we all say things we shouldn't have.
Sure.
But yeah, it's okay.
I mean, I curse way too much. They're protecting me right now. I'm myself, and I think that I'm always going to be myself, and they know that I'm going to just be as genuine as I can be with them all the time. And so whether that's in meetings, whether that's on the field, whether that's when we're just hanging out or whatever, I'm always going to be myself. So I know I curse too much. I know obviously don't do it in front of you guys, but I'm going to do it, and they're going to hear about it. And I've got a pretty loud voice when I need to, and so they can probably hear me across the entire field. They know. They both have had that wrath before.
That makes me feel so much better, though, coming from an Ivy League guy, that I'm not alone doing that.
Hey,
I think the Ivy League guys are the ones that cuss the most.
I put it up there one time that cursing was actually it's been proven that it's a sign of intelligence, and there's another study that says it's a sign of trust. So I've been able to, so that's one of the things that I've been able to point out to both of, I put it actually on the big screen and be like, guys, this is why I do it. When really it's just I can't control it.
I can't help it. I'm too intelligent. I'm too trustworthy.
I got no idea. I can't stop it even if I wanted to.
So he doesn't trust us, Jeremy.
I wouldn't. I don't. He has no reason to.
I am able to turn it off in these type of settings, but other than that, not really.
So, Coach, the season was an extraordinary season, but there was that 2-game hiccup, Marshall and JMU, that came across that. I don't know if it shook anybody's faith in the season. You guys rebounded. I don't think you lost another game after that. Are those games revenge games for you coming into the season?
I mean, we want to win every game. I mean, obviously, we know how important every game is, and right now JMU's they're the. You said that you started with we're the Kings. I mean, they're the Kings, right? And so we've got to knock them off in order to do it, and we all know it, and everybody in this hotel knows it, and JMU is the one that we all know that we're going to have to win. But you look at great teams. Marshall's a great football team. We did not play our best game in that game, but they are a very, very, very good team. You look at Georgia Southern is a very, very good team. You look at Georgia State; they're a very, very good team. Coastal, App State, and that's just our side, right? I mean, so you've got a bunch of great teams that are going to play, and we all know that. And so, yeah, we didn't play our best football in those 6 quarters, but it's probably the most proud I've ever been as a coach that we were able to bounce back, and we actually struggled a little bit against App State too. There was a time period there the offense struggled a little bit early, and the defense had two drives were there where they struggled, and we were able to lock in and get that win. And then after that, we kind of took off. So it was one of those situations where, I really liked the way our guys responded after, maybe having some of that confidence shook a little bit. Our guys responded very, very well.
So, Devin, I mean, it's always easier to say than to actually kind of live up to it of, we saw James Madison, they're one of us, they were able to make that national stage. Does that kind of continue to motivate you and push you of like, hey, we want to be the next one? We'll be the second team. We won't be the pioneers, but we'll be the second team to ever make that platform.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's definitely motivation. And it just helps us double down on our want-to-know mentality every day, where it's like you got to be in every position meeting, every workout, and every, just be present in every moment. So I think small steps like that is what ultimately gets teams like JMU to where they need to be and ultimately us in the end goal.
Mario, we talked earlier about being kind of the old man on the team there. But in this day and age, it's so rare for that to be the case. What keeps bringing you back to Old Dominion? Or is it the fear that Coach Ronnie will find you regardless if you were to transfer or try to leave?
Yeah, I mean, he probably will find me. But, no, it's just the relationships I've built over time. And, they brought me here for a reason. I got here for a reason, so I'm staying for a reason. It's just all the coaches all that they've put into me, and they developed me over the years. It's got me to where I'm at now. So, that's the only thing I can really say about that. But, I'm glad I'm here. I stayed for a reason, so I want to win a championship here.
Y'all are both also the old man. When you have these freshmen coming in and you're making that first plane trip to wherever it is that y'all are going, I don't know if y'all would fly or just bus to like Virginia Tech or anything like that. Do they kind of act a fool and you got to play a little old man, a little unk and get them in line?
Yeah, it's always a lot of excitement when guys get their first travel and they get to experience new things. But it's good to keep them rooted and try and keep them rooted in their playbooks and in the play calls and stuff like that, so that they're just preparing and not going for vacation. So that's definitely a thing.
Speaking of old men, Coach, congratulations. You've got the longest tenure in the Sun Belt East. You're seeing some new guys in here. Do you see the new coaches and welcome them in, and then maybe even give them some advice?
I'm not going to give them advice.
Don't give them advice.
I mean, we're trying to win. But I do think, you welcome them in. I mean, I love this conference. I think this conference is the greatest Group of 6 conference in the world. And so I want everybody to be successful until they're playing us, and then I want them to lose. But no, there's great coaches here. And there's great players, and there's great administrators, and the passionate fan bases and everything like that. This is what college football is supposed to be about. 9 states that touch each other. This is a real geographic region. We still have divisions. This is what college football is, and at least what I grew up with it. Right? I mean, so that's what I love about this is I still get to feel like it's old time college football. Guys are going to play violent. They're going to play hard. They're going to play physical. We're going to coach each other, and then we're going to be able to slap each other on the back and say good game afterwards. So I think that's what I love about this conference more than anything.
Commissioner Gill is stepping down, and they name you as the commissioner. What's the first thing you're doing to make sure that we're still on the right ship and maybe the course that you want to change for us?
Shoot,
dang!
I'm resigning because Commissioner Gill's got an almost impossible job. I love coaching football. I don't want any of that other stuff. To be able to have to steer the Sun Belt Conference or really anything in college football through these waters we're in right now is it's almost impossible because everybody has a different opinion on what we should and what we shouldn't be doing, and I think that it's a thankless job. I'm grateful that we have him because he does such a great job for us. He's a realist. He understands what's going on. He's not sitting here saying, okay, tomorrow I want the Final Four teams in the college football playoff to be all Sun Belt teams. I mean, he's a realist on what we're trying to accomplish, but he is also he sees the vision and the goals that we can have, and that we can accomplish big things here. So that is a job that I would never ever want in a million years. And I think he's got a great job in his mind, but I know I have a great one, so I'm going to stay in my job.
You have my vote there, Coach.
So, since we're speaking in such highfalutin terms, There was some talk with the Commissioner Gill about expanding the playoffs, about federal intervention, saving college sports, whatever have you. When it comes to expanding the playoffs, are you a yes or a no to that, or do you not even care?
I'm all for expanding the playoffs as long as the group of 6 gets more access.
Well, that would be nice, yeah.
I don't want to expand the playoffs to 24 teams, and just so the 6th place SEC team can get in.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think the regular season needs to mean something.
Yeah.
And so I think, at 12 teams, I think we're at a good spot. I don't want to move up. The one I will tell you this: I've had the privilege of meeting Commissioner Sankey before, and if he thinks it's not a good idea to expand to 16 and 24, then I'm going to listen to him, because that guy is really, really smart, like crazy smart. And so I don't think if he's trying to tell us that maybe 12 is the number, I think we all need to listen for a second. Would I want the playoffs to move up so that we could finish on January 1st where God intended? Yeah, I would. But I also know we're never going to do that, because the January 1st television ratings are so high that we have to have at least 2 games on that day.
Yeah.
And if we want to keep, generating the type of money for these players and for the schools and everything, and for us coaches too, as we can't have anything less than two games on January 1st. And so I think that's one of the other things that's just, it sounds great, but it's not going to change.
I know the players get bowl swag that when y'all went to the Cure Bowl last year, correct? What do the coaches get?
We get basically the same thing.
Oh.
I gave my headphones, which they're actually really nice headphones, right? I mean, like some of the best. My son has his headphones right now. He's up in New York playing lacrosse. He has them. I was able to grab another pair for my youngest one, or else we were going to have a revolution. So he has the other one. I'll tell you what, though, I would just real briefly, because I know they're here, the Cure Bowl. What a great bowl that was. I mean, it was unbelievable. One of the most fun nights I've ever had in my life, I know this sounds crazy, was a couple nights before the bowl, and we went over to SeaWorld, which is right across from our hotel, and there was no one there, and it was like me and my 2 sons just riding every ride we possibly could, and it was unbelievably fun.
Did you close down SeaWorld?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome, and just the entire bowl experience was great. Also knowing that it actually meant something, that it was actually for a real cause, and for the cure and everything like that. That made a lot. That's why we wore pink on our helmets and everything. But that was one of the better bowl experiences I've had in my entire time. So I was very thankful for them.
It didn't hurt that you got the win also.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we would have got a loss, that would have been the worst bowl.
Don't want to come back to this trash bowl.
It was great to get the win, especially because we flew back right afterward. That was nice too. The trophy, Chris Trinidad. He was here last year, and he had the trophy right there on the chair next to him. The trophy got its own seat.
As it should.
Yeah, as it should. So it's a good deal.
It's valuable stuff. Mario, I was going to ask you being that redshirt senior, 5th year, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the cherry on top of your career? Is there something that, if it doesn't happen, that you would apply for a 6th year?
We covered this. It's a pick 6.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get a pick,
doesn't
get a pick 6, he's been playing all year long with like a pulled hamstring or something.
No, we got to get a conference championship first, and then obviously I want the individual accolades too. But conference championship is, I got to leave college with that. So that's really the main thing on my mind right now. So we got to just get to the point where we can get that.
Yeah, and that's a tough road to hoe in the tough Sun Belt East, sure enough.
Yeah.
But I see you already have your ODU ring on. What size is it, and have you reminded everyone that you know the right size?
Yeah, it's a size 10.
Little hands, because mine's a 12. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but those are old man fat hands.
That's very true.
Yeah, trust me, I didn't even measure. I only wear one piece of jewelry right here. So.
Mine's not coming off, so I don't know about you, but it's stuck there forever.
Always great stuff with the Monarchs. Greatly appreciate it. Devin, look forward to watching you rush. Mario on the defensive side, and of course, Coach, if only you were coming back to the Malone House of Pain that you tore the Band-Aids off and everything else while you were there.
We appreciate you guys having us on. This is, obviously we appreciate what you guys do for the Sun Belt and everything. So appreciate it, guys.
All right, thank you very much.
That's a wrap. day one of Sunbelt Conference Media Days, killing off the East, Jeremy.
I'm not even exhausted. I could do another day of these things.
Good thing, because we have another day of them.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. End of the day, great interviews. Who was a fun interview?
I am.
No, Josh Dallas from Georgia Southern. That guy.
He's shot out of a cannon.
I think he might be running for Senate or something. He had all the mannerisms and coiffed and had the four-peak, what do you call it, pocket square. He looked good.
But you know what it is?
Yep.
As a new dad, he finally got some sleep last night.
That's right.
And so he doesn't know how to act. He's
like an escaped zoo animal.
Exactly. He is a ravaged beast right now out in the world with sleep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And D'Lo, he's very excited about his new quarterback, Malachi Singleton. I keep calling him Simpson. He's a huge guy, though. He's going to be hard to bring down. He's going to be like one of those running quarterbacks that when you see him coming, linebackers are going to be like, oh, hell, I got to contend with this guy.
He reminds me a lot of Chase Bryce on the side, of the size.
Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Big, thick guy that is going to give those linebackers a hard time, as you said, trying to get the guys down. I'm kind of anxious to see what App State looks like, knowing that they have so many new faces there. I don't think that this will necessarily be back to being the App State of old that we're used to, but they're
going to be a dangerous team.
They'll get that 6th win this year, and I guess kind of legitimize their postseason bowl berth.
Yeah, they're going to be dangerous again. They're going to be that team that everybody in the East absolutely hates to play, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the third quarter of the season they're still in the running. We talked to Coastal Carolina and Ryan Beard, and he was just kind of full of enthusiasm. What did he say? Everything means everything. So I think what he's going to learn, though, that the only thing that matters at Coastal Carolina is winning.
You can't spell beach chicken without a W.
I guess what? Is that true? Is that
Probably
right?
so.
And then, of course, we talked to Ricky Ronnie, and high expectations for the season. He seems to enjoy having those expectations. I think what he said, I think he said at the podium, not having expectations is worse. So he's enjoying that.
With that said, did anything that anyone said on day one change your mind of how to pick the East?
Quite frankly, I'm much more impressed with Marshall than I've been impressed all year. I feel like that could be a 1 or 2 team. I'm also very again impressed with Old Dominion. I think they're probably I don't think James Madison is the favorite so much as ODU. Still a lot of questions with James Madison. Has the new coach, still working out the quarterback situation. Who are these guys? I honestly think that Marshall and Old Dominion, now talking to these guys, might be the top 2 out of the gate. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, mostly because Los, wanted to take me outside out back.
He wanted to beat your ass.
After I mistakenly picked them 5th. But
and I'm joking about wanting to beat your ass. He's a nice kid. He just wanted to know what your thought process was.
He wanted some good bulletin board material, and I think I gave it to him. I feel like Marshall is definitely a good offensive team. I think that there's a lot of questions on the defensive side of the ball. I think that they will literally be able to beat and outscore teams. I just don't know how good that defense is of can they make the key stop so that the offense can score more points. With Ricky Ronnie and Roche at the running back position, I like the Monarchs in the number 2 slot. I agree with you on the James Madison side. I think that's the easy pick to say, James Madison's going to win the East. And they very well may. But I do feel like there are some more question marks that maybe they fall just a little bit out of that top spot in the East for me.
Although when we talked to Shane, I made this point too. Anytime you doubt James Madison, you get burned for it. So maybe I doubt James Madison at my own peril. Was there any other overall thoughts that you thought just from the players that came through?
I was surprised that Georgia State was here since they're in the West, right, Jeremy?
I did make that mistake. What do you think about the new coaches that have come in? There's a couple new faces that are out there. Beard is one of them. A couple 2-year guys like D'Lo. I mean, these guys are fairly fresh. What do you think of them?
I think Beard is a good, energetic young guy. I think that he's still kind of learning that initial pass through being an FBS coach, really only having the one season last year at Missouri State. D'Lo's a character, man. Him and Ricky Ronnie, I think to me would be a eternal podcast episode that we could have and not run out of anything to talk about.
That's right. Billy Napier, he's the first-year head coach at James Madison, but it's hard to think of him as a new head coach in the Sun Belt.
It is, and we've talked offline or maybe even in some other episodes about Major Applewhite at South Alabama and kind of how guarded he is, talking out of the fear of being around those major programs. I think we still see that out of Napier. I think he still has some Florida in him that, everyone's out to get him. Everyone wants the scoop and is battling for stories and trying to get you to say something that puts you in a bad spotlight. And that's not the case. I think here in the Sun Belt, especially on this show, we're all about just having fun and poking fun of everyone, all 14 teams.
Yeah, there isn't a contingency of journalists looking to destroy your career in the Sun Belt, as opposed to the SEC or even the Big Ten. They're people whose only job it is to destroy a career. So,
yeah, definitely not this show, not in this league.
No.
So, I think he was a little standoffish on the interview, which is fine. I get it, but overall, love day one.
Yeah.
Ready to do it again for day two?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to day two. We get to see some familiar faces from the West, kind of our stomping ground. So looking forward to getting up early tomorrow. When's our first interview? Is that like 7:20, 7:30?
I'm going to tell you 4 in the morning so that you show up roughly on time.
I'll see you at noon.